This is John Young with the Disc Jockey News. I just returned from Mobile Beat Las Vegas, and I wanted to share some thoughts from the show because every time you go to a DJ convention, there's going to be some people who just love the experience, and there's going to be some people who are hating the experience, or they're going to complain about something. Well, this year's show was a very good show, and the crew needs props for putting on a great show in many ways. You know, some things, yes, could have been done better, as there is always that. No matter what show you go to, even the Super Bowl, you look at it, there's always some things that could be done better. But they did a fantastic job, and superior to probably most every show I've ever been to in the way of production and in the seminar room. But I want to talk to those of you who are out there, you know, going and just really kind of bad-mouthing this show or any show. You know, a couple of things that I wanted to talk about. First off, every DJ show that has been put on is an expensive endeavor. These things aren't cheap. These aren't done as huge profit margin or very profitable things. Most of them actually lose money. There's very few that make money or make enough money to really be this thing, a cash cow I heard someone mentioning in the hallway. They aren't that. Most of these shows are put on more as a labor of love than they are a real fund-making opportunity or business opportunity. So then you might be asking yourself, why do we do it? Well, some of us are just silly. Truthfully, we've got a bigger heart for the industry than we probably have common sense. And that happens an awful lot. But a lot of the shows, they're spending a ton of money with these hotels and casinos. We've written out checks to casinos and hotels and such, even for our small shows, in the $30,000 range. They are not cheap. When we go to a casino in Vegas and we're sitting there and our hotel room's only this and you can go here and there, and we're thinking, well, it can't be that much. Well, it is, gang. It's not unheard of for these bigger shows to be starting at $50,000 for part of their event, and then union fees and different things, and it can be easily well over $100,000 to $150,000, and they're still not completely paid for. That's before they pay for talent and speakers and different things. They're not cheap. So for us to be judging by, you know, they put money in one spot, well, it's going to come from somewhere. Well, if they could have 4,000 attendees, they would have money to cover everything, but it doesn't happen that way. So you'll find sometimes when they're putting money in one spot that the other might be, you know, a little bit less than we would like to see. But you got to understand, they're doing the best they can, of course, with the resources they have. Secondly, is some people were complaining about the location once again. Well, first off, we know we've all been to the Riviera. We know what it's like, and it's now leaving. And if you've seen my video, we kind of walked through and talked about that in one of my videos from the show. You know, the hotel is, we're not here for the hotel. We're not here for the actual convention site. Yes, it would be nice if it smelled better. It wasn't bad this year as it has been in the past. I got to say, I was actually pretty impressed in some ways after being at the Riviera so many times, how it turned out. But we're not there for that. We're there for the networking and seeing friends and education. So to sit there and lambast the hotel or the casino and just saying what a hole it is, yeah, we got that. We've heard that one. It's not the first time we've heard it, and it won't be the last time. Because you're going to find problems with every hotel if you're that person. You're there for the positives. Focus on the positives. Focus on the people that you're seeing. Focus on the relationships that you're enhancing. Focus on the things you learned. And don't be hung up, if you're not learning exactly what you thought you were going to be learning, because you can learn something from everyone. Even if that something you're learning is what not to do. Too many people get hung up on the casino, the hotel, and what they didn't learn. There were things that I was wanting to learn on how to, tie my shoe and still be able to spin with my left hand. Well, you know what? Maybe you didn't learn that trick, but maybe you learned a life lesson from Penn Jillette on how he has risen from where he started in Minnesota, right up here, down the road from me, just a little ways, where he started here and what he's developed into one of the longest running shows, actually the longest running show in Las Vegas. The guy's doing something right. And if you missed his keys to what got him there, that was my fault. I got him. So don't get hung up on the little things that are really irrelevant to your success at these shows. And finally, the number of times I see people who are going out, and I'm looking at pictures the next day, they were out until 2 or 3 or 5 in the morning, partying all night long. And yes, it's Las Vegas, and yes, it's exciting, and we've all done it, but you're there for education. You're there to grow your business. And yes, sometimes I might learn something in the middle of the night in Las Vegas, but probably not after I've had a dozen drinks. It doesn't work that way. You need to be an adult in a situation. And I know that a lot of people who did that, they went out and had a great time, and they're not the ones complaining about it. But even though they weren't complaining, they're still going to be part of that networking situation that isn't happening at the level it should, because some of that talent that these people have are out playing. Well, you know what? They're not there to network the next day with you and I, who didn't do those things and were there in the morning. It would be nice if we could come together as a profession, and we'll go out and have some fun. But you know what? You get to a point where it's time to wrap it up and be the mature adult and say, hey, you know what? I've got to be there in the morning, because for my business, for my family, I need to invest the time to be at that seminar. I need to be at that little networking breakfast that's going on, or whatever these other things are, because it's not just about you. It's not about me. It's really about those that depend on us. Going back to a Brian Dodge message, it's those who depend on us. It's our family. It's our friends and those people around us that really depend on us going there and learning, bringing that information back, implementing it into our lives, and creating something better than we had before. So again, just a little bit of a kind of a rant, we'll call it. I hope that struck a chord with a lot of you. Many of you have been there. You've felt the same frustration as you're hearing these things, or you're seeing it online. Gang, again, focus on the positive. This is John Young with the Disc Jockey News.